started today. Welcome to Internet Mastery Phase 3 Follow-Up Session 5. My name is Mark Burstein. I've been your host throughout this Internet Mastery session with Property Minder, and it's been an honor and a privilege to be here with you all, and thank you all for joining me in these webinars. If you've been here before, you might know that on top of working here at Property Minder and helping agents leverage the system, I actually am a full-time real estate professional in Silicon Valley, and I've been leveraging the Property Minder Accelerate Agent website in my business for the past 8 years. And this is kind of all my tips and tricks of some of the things that I do in my business as it relates to internet marketing that I'm sharing here with you, so that hopefully everyone can be successful in leveraging the Property Minder Accelerate Agent website. So today's session is all about follow-up, the second part of follow-up, dealing with the MLS searches and leveraging client tracking. Now, the goals of the presentation has been the same throughout. We want you to gain a greater understanding of internet technology and strategies for success. You all should already be Property Minder clients. I'm sure you all have an Accelerate Agent website, so I'm not selling any websites in this session. All I'm doing here is trying to give you guys some tools and strategies to be more successful and how to leverage our system in your business. So the rules of engagement are going to remain the same. If you have any questions, concerns, feedback, so forth and so on, please send me an email, mark@bursteingroup.com. I'd love to hear from you. Also, you can connect with me on Facebook through Property Minder at facebook.com/PropertyMinder. And you can post questions there. You got to like us first, of course. Always a catch, right? So like us and then post your questions. I'll be happy to answer them and address any of your concerns with regards to leveraging the Accelerate Agent website in your business. Now remember, there's 3 phases of Internet Mastery that we went over. And the second part of today's session, we'll be doing quite a bit of review. So you have driving traffic, how to get people onto your website, to generate leads, how to then, once they're on your website, get them to leave their contact information behind. And then once you have their contact information, how to follow up. Set up the systems and leverage the follow-up campaigns in your toolkit to maintain relationships with clients so you can get referrals and transactions down the road. Now, this has been our schedule today. Today is the last session with regards to follow-up. We're going to talk about following up with the MLS searches, how to leverage the client tracking, and then as a part of our conclusion, we'll review a little bit about all 3 phases of driving traffic, generating leads, and following up. So today's discussion, like I said, mostly do with follow-up and MLS searches, as well as leveraging client tracking, and then a review. So when it comes to marketing online, the number one reason consumers are online is property listings, far and above any other reason. As it relates to real estate, of course, people go online for all kinds of things in their lives. But with regards to real estate, people go online looking for property listing information. It's the number one reason consumers go online for real estate-related content. Therefore, we have tools on your website to cater to that need. We have the whole MLS, right? People can go on your website and search for properties that they're looking for. We also have the ability to kind of beat them to the punch, especially the people that we already know and the people in our database, or people that we've added to our database over the course of time. All right, we can kind of beat them to the punch and say, well, before you have a chance to go onto a third-party website, before you have a chance to go looking at the open house around the corner, I'm going to make sure you have appropriate information or appropriate listing information that's very relevant to you in your email. And we do that by leveraging the MLS search tools in our Accelerate Agent website. So needless to say, every contact that you have, any contact that you have in your CRM, CRM stands for Client Relationship Manager. It's your database of all your contacts, all the people you know, all the people that you would talk to about real estate over the course of your career, right? your CRM, potential buyers and sellers. Every contact in your CRM should have at least one MLS search working for them at all times. So I don't know if you've had the chance to go in and import your contacts from Outlook, or if you had a chance to import them from Facebook or whatever database you're using to keep track of all the people you know. If there's no easy way to import them in, make sure you do it manually, because you want to make sure that all the people you know are in your CRM, and then all of them should be set up on at least one MLS search. And we're going to go over the strategies for that here in a quick second. All right. And then we want to definitely leverage client tracking, because your system, your Acceleragent website, tracks people and what they do on your website and gives you a nice report. So if you're sending out property listings to the 150 people that are in your database, you know which ones are coming back and looking at the listings that you're sending them. You'll know exactly which properties they're looking at. So that way, when you call to follow up with them, you have some meaningful, relevant topics to discuss. And it's all based on their actions. It's kind of cool how it works. So we all know, obviously, active buyers, people that you met at the open house last weekend, people that are in the market to buy a home today, maybe some people that were referred to you from a house you sold last week, you just met them. Classify them as an active buyer because they're looking now to buy a home. We want to make sure that they're set up on an MLS search on your website for properties that they're looking to buy in the areas they're looking to buy. Pretty obvious, right? The active buyers, and I want to classify an active buyer as someone who is ready to write an offer today should the perfect opportunity arise. Those clients, those contacts should be on an ongoing search, and those are the people that are active now are the only people that should be on ongoing searches. Because your ongoing search, what that does, our system queries the MLS multiple times throughout the day, looking for changes, looking for new listings. When a new listing matches the search criteria of your MLS search that you set up, if they're set on an ongoing schedule, the system will send them an email. If you have a very broad search, like a broad search would be, let's say, all foreclosures in the city of San Francisco, chances are there's going to be a new listing coming on that search, maybe not 5 times a day, but at least once or twice a day. So if you have a client that may not be active, they might like you, but I don't think they want to see 3, 4, or 5 emails from you a day with regards to property listings. But that one buyer that's ready to make offers right now, he may want to be the first one to know about the new listing that just came on the market. So that way he can get his offer in right away. And I know that some strategies say that, okay, well, even some of these banks these days, they're getting on, okay, well, maybe we should wait 3 to 5 days before we accept offers. But hey, I got burned on this last week. Not all of them do. Some of them will take an offer from you right now. So those buyers, those active buyers that are ready to write an offer, it still makes sense for them to know about property listings the minute they come on the market. So make sure you have those going on an ongoing search. Now, people that are just prospects, people that maybe the people you met at the open house this past weekend, they gave you their contact information, but yeah, they're still kicking tires. They're not ready to make an offer yet. They don't even know if they want to live in the neighborhood you were holding the house open, or the place across town with a little better schools. They don't know. They're probably 3 to 6 months out from being active buyers. They certainly don't want to see 5 emails from you every day. Okay? So be very careful. You still want to set them up on that search. You still want to maintain a connection with them. But let's set that search up for maybe a daily or a weekly search. That way they're not over inundated with emails from you. Because A, they're not ready to buy today. Them knowing about the house coming on the market, whether they know today, whether they know next week, they don't care. They're not writing an offer on it anyway. So those prospects, let's set them up on a daily or a weekly search. And these would be, like I said, prospects, pipeline buyers. Okay? Someone that, okay, they're not ready to buy a house right this minute, but eventually they will. Okay? Your active listings. Active listings should also be on an ongoing or possibly a daily search. I would recommend an ongoing search for comparables. Because your active listing, you set up the comparable search. First of all, that search should not be very broad. It should be very well defined. It should really be for the comparables. So if your listing is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house with 2,000 square feet, let's say in a neighborhood like Willow Glen in San Jose, well, when you set up that search, make sure you're setting it up for comparables. You may not want to set it up for all homes in Willow Glen because it's a big area, it's diverse, and where this home is located relative to another home could be a different school district, may not be quite so comparable. So with the comparable search, make sure you're defining a specific area that's really, if you were doing a CMA, would you include homes from this neighborhood to justify price for this property? Okay, so just like you were doing a CMA, you set up that search and you set up those filters, and now with the new map-based search, it's very, very cool to define the area, to define the neighborhood. Right? You can draw your polygon on the map, especially in, I don't know, some of you might be from the San Jose area. I know this, you guys we have a national audience here, but you know, school districts are pretty important, I'm sure, everywhere we go. So make sure that you, when you're setting up these searches for comparables, make sure that you are setting up for actual comparables. Okay, and same with the homeowners. Now the active listings want to go ongoing because when their crazy neighbor lists their house for $30,000 below theirs, you know, they want to make sure they know about that right away. Because remember, sellers all want their home sold when? They all want it sold yesterday. Right? And they don't want to hear excuses. They want to know why their house hasn't sold if it's been on the market for a few weeks, right? Well, by having this system working for you, when the comps that come out and the crazy neighbor lists their house for $30,000 below on Tuesday, now your clients will probably be calling you on Wednesday saying, hey, my crazy neighbor's listed their house $30,000 below. And they'll know, especially if you set it up properly in your listing presentation. Well, they should know that, hey, my house and my neighbor's house, they're in the same floor plan. My house is obviously better because it smells nicer. It always does. But nevertheless, the buyer coming through will not pay me $30,000 more for my house. So if I need my house sold yesterday and it hasn't sold and I'd like for it to sell this weekend, well, chances are I better price it competitively with my neighbor. And they'll know about that right away. It makes the process of asking for that dreaded price reduction, that's a tough conversation for a lot of agents to have with their clients, because you went in there during your listing presentation and said, yeah, I can pull $450 for this property, and you've had it listed for $450 for 6 weeks, and you haven't had any offers, and everything else coming on the market's coming on under $400. Well, there's your answer why it hasn't sold for $450. And by having this system working for you all the time, your active listings will know. They'll know the moment those listings that competition hits the market. So it makes that price reduction conversation a lot easier. It's like, hey, have you seen your neighbors? They came on. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to sell your house this weekend? Yes. Okay, well, we need to adjust to be competitive. And we can do that right away. All right? Everybody that owns a home, especially today, with these uncertain economic times, getting better, still a little uncertain, they're concerned about the value of their property, whether they plan to sell or not. People are still concerned about the value of their home. So by having the system, you offer a great solution. Well, Mr. Homeowner, I'd be happy to send you a biweekly or weekly or monthly or whatever schedule you want report on all market activity in your neighborhood. That way, when the kids make paper airplanes out of the flyer boxes, out of the flyers that are in the flyer box, you don't have to worry, because you just open up your email. My email will be right there, and all the information about that property will be there for you. Right?